And welcome back to Capitol Review. Joe Biden and Donald Trump are hitting the campaign trail, and black voters will play a key role in who will win the 2024 presidential election. Joining us now, Cheyanne Daniels. She is the race and politics reporter with our media partners at The Hill. And Cheyanne, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's get right to it. Race and politics. It's 2024. They just seem to go together, right?
Yes, they do. I hope so. Otherwise, I don't have a job. I'm kidding. But yes, absolutely. As you mentioned, both President Biden and former President Donald Trump are really hoping to be able to get black voters on their side come November, and for different reasons, too. We know that black voters were critical for President Biden in 2020 in order for him to win the election. And this year, Donald Trump is hoping that he can siphon some of those voters off and hopefully turn the tide his way to get into the White House.
Is the black vote still an important voting bloc? Talk about that.
Absolutely. You know, many across the spectrum will say that Democrats cannot win without black voters, right? That is how important black voters are to the Democratic base. Republicans have a little bit more of leeway where maybe they don't have to cater or speak to black voters as much as Democrats need to, but it's definitely not hurtful for them to try to pull those black voters away from Democrats, because again, with black voters being so important to to Democrat success, any amount that they're able to pull makes those competitions, those races, just a little bit more competitive.
Talk about how the two presidential candidates are trying to attract the black vote. You know, President Biden recently spoke to students at Morehouse University, and of course, President Trump is reaching out as well.
Absolutely. So we see that the current Biden-Harris administration is really trying to head over to HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities. They've been targeting students for some time now. We saw in the fall, we saw Vice President Kamala Harris do a whole campaign, a whole tour around HBCUs across the nation. As you just mentioned, we saw President Biden speak at Morehouse. They're also reaching out to some of those black organizations that are well known. We saw ahead of the 70th anniversary of the Brown v. Board of Education decision, President Biden went and was speaking at the National Museum of African American History and Culture, where he was addressing the NAACP. Meanwhile, we see former President Donald Trump taking a little bit of a different tactic. We see him really perhaps buying or promising to consider a black running mate, right? And so he's indicated that he's thinking potentially of Senator Tim Scott, potentially of Representative Byron Donalds. We've also seen him mention things such as his love for shoes and starting a shoe line, because he says that black folks like shoes. And speaking at the Black Conservative Federation's annual gala earlier this year. So he's really trying as well. And again, however many black voters he's able to pull away from Joe Biden is going to be really helpful in making the presidential race that much more competitive.
Are black voters' interest any different than any other voting blocs? Or does our history in this country have an impact?
I think that's a wonderful question, because what we see oftentimes is that issues such as the economy, job opportunities, inflation, those sort of kitchen table issues that we often hear about are just as important to black voters as they are to non-black voters. But the difference is we do also hear black voters say consistently that tackling racism, racial discrimination, and the criminal justice system and how it disproportionately affects black Americans, that's also part of their top issues. So we see a little bit of those racial divides coming up on topics that disproportionately affect black voters, but they are just as invested in some of those other economy type of discussions that we hear so often.
Cheyanne, I still hear voter apathy in many of our communities, many of our black communities. Do you still see the same thing, or is that less of a problem as the years grow on?
I think it's a little bit of a mix, right? So we know, for instance, that black voters consistently say that they feel that their voice is important, but they don't always feel like they're being listened to, which is part of what's causing some of the apathy that we hear so much about, especially ahead of elections. So we hear, for instance, especially young voters say they have all of these things that they want to see accomplished. They hear promises made on the campaign trail, and then it all falls apart once that person is elected. And that's up and down the ballot, right? Not just at the White House, but also when it comes to their local elected leaders. So for Black voters, what they really would like to see is they would like to know that political leaders, candidates are listening to them, and that's what's going to help drive them to the polls for whichever candidate is who can speak to them.
Cheyanne Daniels, thank you very much for joining us in Capitol Review.